For months, the Obama administration has claimed that Russia has hacked into the political system to influence the elections. And for months, Donald Trump has denied the hacking by Russia, claiming it could be a 400-pound guy sitting in his bed in New Jersey, could be the Chinese, could be the Russians. 2 weeks ago, when confronted by Chris Wallace on Fox News, Trump responded by saying,
Russia hacked into Democratic files not just to destabilize the U.S. election, but to push a specific objective. According to the Washington Post, the CIA has concluded that Russia intervened in the election to help you win the presidency. Your reaction?
I think it's ridiculous.
On Wednesday, when asked by the media about the hacking, Trump accused computers rather than Russian hacking. On Thursday, President Obama announced sanctions and released a partial report from the FBI and Homeland Security. According to the New York Times, intelligence agencies have concluded that the GRU ordered the attacks on the Democratic National Committee and other political organizations with the approval of the Kremlin and ultimately enabled the publication of the emails it harvested to benefit the Donald J. Trump election. The Times also said that the FBI and the Department of Homeland Security on Thursday also released samples of malware and other indicators of Russian cyber activity, including network addresses of computers commonly used by the Russians to start attacks. But the evidence's report, in which the administration referred to the Russian cyber activity as grisly step, fell short of anything that would directly tie senior officials of the GRU or the FSB, the other intelligence service, to a plan to influence the elections. A more detailed report on the intelligence ordered by Mr. Obama will be published in the next 3 weeks, though much of the information, especially evidence collected from implants in Russian computer systems, tap conversations, and spies, is expected to remain classified. The New York Times also published this article following the links from Russian hackers to the U.S. election, pointing out that the Russian government, according to American intelligence officials, said that they believe the hackers were associated with 2 Russian agencies. The Federal Security Service hacked July 2015 and in 2016. Of March, the GRU military intelligence. The Federal Security Service, a hacking group possibly linked to the successor of the KGB, entered the Democratic National Committee servers undetected for nearly a year. Security researchers said the group was nicknamed Cozy Bear, the Dukes, or APT.29 for Advanced Persistent Threat. GRU intelligence. The investigators believe that the GRU, or a hacker's Fancy Bear, or APT-28, was the second group to break into the DNC, but it has played a role in releasing committee's emails. Now, according to the New York Times, reviewing the report from the federal government, the state-sponsored hackers enabled the leakers, Guccifer 2.0 and DC Leaks. Guccifer 2.0, reportedly, is a self-proclaimed hacker that investigators believe was a group acting as an agent of the GRU. It published documents itself and leaked a series of DNC documents. The DC Leaks, investigators say that it is a front for the Russian hackers who have tried to disrupt the elections this year. It appeared in June as the release of the stolen Democratic Party documents began. The publishers of the information, according to the report, as described by the New York Times, are WikiLeaks and the media. WikiLeaks website released about 50,000 emails from the Democratic National Committee's computer services. The New York Times says it's unclear how WikiLeaks obtained the emails, but Russian intelligence agencies are prime suspects, the researchers say. The media pursued reporting based on the hacked material. In some cases, Guccifer 2.0 and DC Leaks took requests from reporters releasing documents to them directly. The Trump campaign response so far is...
The breaking news tonight. I see this statement from the president-elect, but what was his reaction when he learned of President Obama's announcement today against Russia?
His reaction is reflected in his statement, Kate. He'll receive an intelligence briefing in this coming week. And in the meantime, he believes it's time to move on. Even those who are sympathetic to President Obama on most issues are saying that part of the reason he did this today was to, quote, box in President-elect Trump. That would be very unfortunate if that were if politics were the motivating factor here, but we can't help but think that that's often true. Even the New York Times characterized it as such, that this may be an attempt to box him in to see what he'll do as president. That's not the way that peaceful transitions of administrations work in our great democracy.
There are others who cast doubt on the findings so far.
Surprising, we have yet to see any proof that links the Kremlin to something that really is hacking in the United States election. We know that the WikiLeaks were of emails that John Podesta wrote, not the U.S. government, and nobody has said they are false. Therefore, it's not hacking, it's a leak. So, again, is it a case of simply the administration of throwing gasoline on a fire? Look what they did with Israel. Could this be simply another petulant way to make Donald Trump's first days in office more difficult than they have to be? Very hard to understand the logic here.